committee will come to order. Representative Loeffler, from out of the frying pan and into the fire. Welcome back.
I am glad to be back, sir. I couldn't be here for your full, illustrious hearing. It's always Stacy on deadline week. House File 1647. I would like to move for possible consideration the omnibus tax
Thank you very much.
report. Excuse me. And we've had a lot of testimony on the renter's credit and how it works and all the options, and so I don't think we need to go through that. I'll just tell you how this bill differs from some of the many alternatives that we've looked at. And as we've heard, that the renter's credit works really well right now for people who are elderly and disabled and very low income, and we want to continue that. This bill doesn't change any of that. What it does do is it does increase the maximum and provide additional benefits up to a higher level of income, going up to $75,000 per year in household income. The goal of this is, and the biggest benefit is going to be really for the working poor families, those who are making, have a couple with maybe 1 or 2 or 3 kids who are making $10 to $12 an hour, and they're just living on the edge. They can't save up to do a down payment and get into home ownership. And so we're going to try and make sure that the renter's credit works for the working poor, in addition to seniors and the disabled who tend to be at those lower incomes without affecting them. And so that's what this bill does. I have to give much praise to Ms. Manzi, who brought her always impressive skills to the how do we do this. And you can see from the bill that it basically would provide for those working poor families an amount that would be probably, depending on their income level, it could be $1,000 to $1,500 for the people who are at the top end of this area, which would be a household income of $70,000 to $75,000. It would be $160, which really isn't very much. But it really is focused in on that working poor family that might right now be really struggling, and who clearly are paying property taxes and their rent. And I think right now the homeowners program goes up to $103,000 of income, so this doesn't begin to approach what we do for homeowners, but it does update our renter's credit maximums to a more realistic household income compared to the last time we dealt with this.
Thank you very much. Do you have any testifiers?
No, I don't. I have people who'd be glad to respond to questions, but given the late hour and what I might be quickly called upstairs to do, I would be glad to respond to questions.
All right. I hope that's not a metaphysical comment. Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Loeffler, you have an inflationary increase built in here.
Representative Loeffler.
Is that what Clause C says in Section 2, Subdivision 4?
Mr. Chair and Representative Erickson, this does not have anything change in current law other than updating that reference to 2013. It's just updating that from the year 2000. I don't think it changes the base, but Ms. Manzi could always clarify that if I'm not interpreting that wrong.
Ms. Manzi can stay where she is. Mr. Hines.
Mr. Chair, Representative Loeffler and Erickson, you're right that we're not changing anything in this bill, but the program is already indexed, has been for some time, and this just continues that indexing at the new levels.
At the new levels, thank you. That clarifies it. So it's indexed. It's not inflation. It's indexed. Okay, thank you.
All right. Representative Runbeck.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just some background, perhaps, from staff. These income levels, are they AGI? Have we ever taken into consideration number of members of the household? Is it a 1-person, 4-person, anything like that coming into this picture?
Mr. Hines.
Mr. Chair, Representative Runbeck, we do take into account household size. There are deductions allowed for the more people in the household there have, and the income measure used is a broader measure of income than, I can't remember if you asked about adjusted gross, but it does bring in other sources of non-taxable income such as Social Security, etc. But there are it's considered to be a broad measure of household income.
Representative Runbeck.
Mr. Chair, so then, Mr. Hines, this is reflecting after deductions and so on?
Mr. Hines?
Mr. Chair, Representative Runbeck, it would be, it would be, on the income side, it would be before sort of the deductions you make for your income tax purposes, but then this program itself does allow you to deduct for household size, so it wouldn't bring in income-type deductions like charitable contributions, but it would bring in the household size deductions.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions from members? Is there anyone in the audience wishing to testify regarding House File 1647? Any last comments, Representative Loeffler?
No, Mr. Chair, just glad to have your consideration and appreciate your interest in this.
Thank you very much. With that, House File 1647 is laid over for possible inclusion in the division report. Members, just a reminder that we come back on April 2nd. The division report will have been posted. We'll walk through the report at that time. On the 3rd, we will first allow public comment on the report, and then if there are any amendments, we will consider them at that time and complete on the division report on the 3rd. So could be a long day or not. Representative Hertaus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Would you comment on the amendment process as to how you're going to handle that?
You offer them, we vote them down.
Yes, I figured as much.
Did you need more direction than that, sir?
I wanted to make sure that we could find a good stormy day in terms of attendance. That meeting.
Actually, this majority is committed to an honest budget arrived at in public. Representative Hertaus.
All right.
Remind you of that.
But they'll get here via public transit.
Hopefully.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully. That would help the environment.
All right.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we stand adjourned. Thank you very much.